Hi everyone, my name is Jeff Yamazaki and welcome back to my channel. I just got back from another trip to Japan, but I experienced Japan's brutal summer. So a quick tip for you guys, definitely avoid June, July, August, even the beginning of September at all costs. However, I brought back some really cool stuff this time that you probably won't see in other hauls, so I'm super excited to share with you what I brought home. As always, I'll leave the time codes down below, so check that out if you want to jump around. Alright, let's get started. This trip I brought back 3 watches, one from the flea market and 2 other vintage Seikos that were part of my wife's grandpa's watch collection. So my wife's grandpa passed away recently, and when I went to Japan this time, her grandma actually found out that I like watches, so she was able to dig out his old watch collection and ended up finding these 2 beautiful vintage watches. You can see all the dings and scratches from all the years of use. This one is the 50-year-old watch. I think it was made around 1970, and this was more recent, probably in the 80s or 90s, but both of these are well over 30 years old, way older than me, which is really cool to have and cherish these for the rest of my life. However, when I received these, they were both dirty and not working, so I ended up taking it to a watch shop and having it repaired and cleaned. So the flea market where I found this one, the Seiko Dolce, is from a flea market called the Tokyo City Flea Market that happens, I believe, every Saturday, Sunday. I will list all the flea markets that I know of in the show notes down below. I went the first day that I landed to the Tokyo City Flea Market and found this watch for around $150 US, which I believe is a good price. When I checked it while I was there on eBay, it was around that price, so I was really happy to take this back home. And one of those reputable sources that I found this trip is a store called Fire Kids that has a ton of cool King Seiko, vintage King Seikos that I found. Especially, this is the new King Seiko Vanek that just came out, but I found a really cool 1972 King Seiko Vanek at Fire Kids, which I wanted to pull the trigger on, but it was slightly too expensive for me, and I wanted to do a little bit more research. But they also had some vintage Grand Seikos. This is my SPJ 413 Cherry Blossom watch, and they have a really special one, the first ever model of Grand Seiko displayed there, which you could actually buy, but Fire Kids is a great option to check out when you're in Japan. Before I move on, I'm really excited to partner with a Japanese company that many of you might know called Panasonic. This part is sponsored, but you guys will definitely like this product. This is the Panasonic palm razor that is all made in Japan and comes in 2 colors, black and white. How cool do these shavers look? In my opinion, Panasonic makes some of the best razors, and I know because I've been actually using the full-size Arc 5 electric razor for the past few years. The palm razor gives you portability without losing the quality that the Arc 5 is known for. All right, let me show you what comes in the box first. It comes with a nice case, the electric shaver, oil, a brush, a charging cable, and some instructions. I love how minimalist and modern these look, and they look great on the sink or in my toiletry kit. This white one is actually made from an eco-friendly material called nagori that gives this super premium ceramic filling on the exterior. The new Panasonic palm razor has a 5-blade shaving head and uses the same technology that is used in sword crafting. Sharp but gentle on the skin. Plus, it's super compact and makes it easy to travel and take with you on the go. It's waterproof, rechargeable with a USB-C port with an easy to clean detachable head. So if you're like me and love traveling to Japan and love the craftsmanship of made in Japan products, this is a no-brainer. Alright, let's get back to the video. Alright, number 2 on the list are 2 very interesting shoes that I got. Alright, so I got golf shoes from Adidas Originals with a Japan exclusive collab, and a pair of sneakers from a Japanese brand called Oedo. Let's start off with the Japanese brand, which is really cool. So I ended up getting the Sunlight Core with the white stitching. They were founded in 2020, and they focus on modern minimalist designs, and as you can see, this beautiful white stitching sneaker with Vibram soles is this really clean, simple, modern sneaker that you can wear with oversized pants. And I think it has this really nice modern silhouette that goes well with any outfit. They do have another version that's on the black on black stitching, but I do believe the white stitching is a lot more interesting and more fun to wear. Also, I was talking to the owner Shin, and he told me these are actually handmade in Japan. A lot of their sneakers there are all handmade with Vibram soles, so the construction and the craftsmanship on these are really nice. They have a store in Daikanyama where you make an appointment online in their website, which I'll link down below. You get an appointment, go into the store, you get one-on-one feedback, one-on-one experience with an employee there, and they ship internationally, also domestically to your hotel. It's a very seamless shopping experience. Next are the Adidas Originals. As you can see, here's a little sneak peek. These are the Anti-Country Club collab with Adidas Originals golf shoe. You might have seen my previous video where I introduced the golf shop called the Divot Store, where they have a really cool curated shop of vintage golf memorabilia. But the owners there also have a golf lifestyle brand called Anti-Country Club, and they collabed with Adidas Golf to create their very own denim golf shoes. Although this isn't real denim, but it's just fabric that looks like denim, which ended up being a really cool idea and something I'm super excited to wear on the course and just as a lifestyle shoe. I think it would go well with, you know, more denim. I love these little flaps, which are removable, and you could just wear it normally like this. So the silhouette is actually a gazelle golf shoe, so if you're ever gonna buy online, I recommend going half size down compared to your normal Adidas shoes. I believe they have a few pairs online, but if you're in Tokyo, definitely go check out the Divot Store in Harajuku, and you could pick up your very own Anti-Country Club Adidas Golf collab shoe. I usually don't buy sneakers like this in the US, but since I'm in Tokyo, I like to explore a bit and find new things to bring back home. All right, next we have green tea products. Recently at home, I've been making a lot of loose leaf green tea. Every morning I try to wake up around 7 a.m. and make myself a cup of green tea. And it's something that my grandma used to do every morning when I visited her, especially during breakfast. And I started to enjoy the taste of green tea, and it really calms me down to start the day. I went to Loft in Shibuya and bought these 2 bags. So this one is a Yamatoen Ichiban Sencha, aka First Flush green tea for 2,000 yen for 60 grams. This is the Kaneju Farm Premium Green Tea for 1,500 yen for 80 grams. Last but not least, this is a Nakamura Tokichi Miyako no Natsumi Sencha for around 1,500 yen for 50 grams. This one is the most expensive at around $15, $12, and then $12. And as a reference, every time I brew tea, I use around 5 grams of loose leaf green tea. So this one's gonna last me 12 cups, 16 cups, and this one is probably the most expensive, 10 cups. So those are the loose leaf green teas that I'm excited to drink. And for accessories, let's start off with the small one. These are tea scoopers. I found these at a recycle shop in Japan. So this one was $2.50. This is 550 yen. So I got 2 for $5. Very simple, they're just a scoop for your tea leaves. And then next is probably one of my favorite things that I brought back home, which is a tea container. This might be one of my favorite things that I brought back home. This is from a brand called Miyako, and this is the small size. I believe they have a larger size, which is probably double the size of this. This is all handmade in Japan, and it has this really nice rough black texture on it. When you hold it, it almost feels like concrete, but has this really satisfying lid to it with another lid to keep it airtight. I got these for about $35. You could find this online and have it shipped to your hotel, or I did see it at the Loft when I went to the store in Shibuya. So these are all my tea products. Whether you want loose leaf green tea or matcha or hojicha, Japan has a ton of amazing brands and products. Next on the list is something special, is bonsai and flower accessories. We are definitely in our bonsai and flower era, especially living in the city for so long, almost 8 years now. You don't get to see a lot of greenery like I did in the suburbs, so we've been buying more flowers to do flowery arrangements like ikebana, and I wanted to try my hand on bonsai. And it's hard to bring back bonsai flowers because of immigration, but I found these really cool DIY bonsai kits to grow your own bonsai tree at home. This one is the red pine tree, gives you a little bit of instructions. And this one is the black pine tree, the kuromatsu. So these are the mame bonsai, which means very, very small bonsai. And then we got a medium-sized one, which is the kuromatsu, the black pine tree, which is a little bit bigger. Bonsai is a lifelong hobby, and it takes years for these to grow to a decent size. So I'm not too sure how I'm gonna share this, but if you follow my Instagram, I'll keep you guys updated with the progress of all these bonsai trees. And then next, my wife does a lot of flower arrangements and she's way better at ikebana, which actually have one that I did. I made this yesterday. It's all right. It's nothing special, but ikebana is really fun. But one of the issues we had was just using kitchen scissors to cut the flowers, which didn't go very well. So this time we brought back some real Japanese gardening shears, all handmade in Japan. And as you can see, this is gonna cut through some stems really easily. So this might be the brand. I'm not too sure. We just picked out a random scissor from the gardening store. So there must be a lot of brands out there that create this type of scissor. This shape is a very traditional Japanese garden scissor. So if you're looking for one, definitely look out for this style and shape. Last but not least, we went to Kappabashi to get more ikebana bowls in smaller sizes. We found this beautiful black container in Kappabashi. This was 500 yen, so maybe $3. And we got a smaller version. I think these are used more for food, but we're gonna use it for ikebana. And at the same store, I got the scissors. I got a ikebana kenzan, a very small one, so that could fit into here. And we could do the ikebana for this or even for this one. I'm super excited to start my bonsai journey and I'll document my progress on Instagram, so definitely follow me there. But let's move on to the next category. Next on the list are home products. We got some interesting products here that I think you'll love. First off, although it's not made in Japan, it's a very interesting product I found at the loft. Actually, my wife found this. This is the Dr. Beckman Color and Fiber Refresh for black textiles. What it does is restores your black textiles, aka shirts, and protects from fading and also smoothens even rough fibers. So what you do is you put one of these sheets in your washing machine cycle and it darkens your black shirts, black pants, and even smooths the fibers on the shirt. I've never seen this in the US. It says it's made in Germany, but all the packaging is in Japanese. So I believe this is really popular in Japan. Not sure if it's sold in the US, but if you're in Japan, definitely pick one of these up. Next, we love burning incense sticks in the morning while we drink our green tea. And we found some really nice one from Kameyama Candle House. This is the white tea and jasmine scent. You could definitely smell the white tea and jasmine, but has this really nice Japanese traditional smell to it. It smells like when you walk into a modern tatami room. This is something I'm really excited to burn. It smells beautiful. You can find this at the loft. The next two products are from a brand that I love called POJ Studio. The logo is something like this. And they're a brand that curates a lot of traditional handmade products from Japan. And so the first product I got is this Hinoki diffuser set. So this is a block of Hinoki wood. I think it's untreated. Yeah, this is just raw Hinoki wood with a yuzu essential oil. Just a simple essential oil bottle. Beautiful citrus smell. This is Japanese yuzu. And what you'll do is just drop 2 or 3 drops onto the Hinoki wood. And I'm thinking about leaving this on top of my toilet with the essential oil and people can just use it whenever they want. The next item is for my bathroom as well, is this Hinoki shower tray. So this is from a brand called Izuru, but you can find it at POJ. This is all made from Hinoki wood and it's treated, so it is waterproof. So I'm gonna put my toiletries on here and maybe a little towel and just make this space a little more Japan-y. On top of this, I wanted to share 2 more quick items, which are both fabric refresheners that are Japanese. This is from a brand called Laundrin. This is a fabric freshener. And then this one was really cool. They have a store in Omotesando called THE. I got their fabric refreshener from here. And this is a musk scent. And this is 100 ml. Made in Japan. So just 2 more fabric refresheners I could use around the house. These are all the home products I brought back, but let's move on to our last item, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. Last but not least is a handmade cast iron kettle from a brand called Iwachu. I went to Iwate Prefecture, which is all the way up north, for the Grand Seiko Shizukuishi studio tour, which I'll make a video soon after this one. But in Iwate, they're famous for their cast iron kettles. So we were able to find one of their famous manufacturers called Iwachu, and we picked up our very own handmade cast iron kettle. So we all use electric kettles these days to boil water, but back in the day when people didn't have iron supplements, they actually used cast iron kettles to incorporate iron into their daily diet. This is called a Nambu iron kettle from a brand called Iwachu that was started in 1902. The one thing they told me is that this is a product you'll use for the rest of your life, and it'll probably outlast you, and it's gonna rust organically, which is not harmful for your health. But let me show you what it looks like. It's beautifully packaged, of course, because it's Japan. The lid has this beautiful wrapping paper. This is a seal of authentication that was made in Japan. As I said, this company started in 1902, and they produce some of the highest quality cast iron kettles in Japan. They're widely known as one of the best cast iron kettle manufacturers. And the one we got was around 45,000 yen, which is around $250, $300. So it's quite expensive for a kettle, but I don't think we're ever gonna go back to Iwate Prefecture and buy another iron kettle. So we wanted to kind of go all out and purchased a really nice handmade cast iron kettle. As you can see, the circular design, the mold was created by hand, and each of these circular dots were created one by one by the craftsman. One of those molds only lasts maybe 4 or 5 cast iron kettles, so they have to keep on remaking these. So there aren't a ton of stock available for each design, but that's why these are so special. Just as a heads up, there are cheaper products that are not fully handmade, but they're more in the $100 to $200 range, which is a pretty great deal for what you get. And also we got a little plate for our kettle made out of the same cast iron material, and this is the stamp of authenticity. It says made in Japan, and as you can see, it's the perfect size to fit our cast iron kettle. Honestly, the thing I'm most excited about is boiling hot water in this and then using the green tea that I bought in Japan and making a really nice cup of green tea in the morning. Also, if you're interested in going to Iwate Prefecture for either the Grand Seiko Shizukuishi studio tour or pick up one of these cast iron kettles, I'll add both links down below. All right, what did you guys think? These items are definitely a bit different from my previous hauls, but I hope that gives you a little bit more variety in what you can bring back from Japan. Again, I'll link all the flea markets and the stores I visited with a Google Map link, as well as the product links in the caption below. As always, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.